Okay, here we go. Step one. How have you personally been pierced with the sword of trauma? How have you been wounded? How have you been affected by this? Now, you don't have to go into telling your whole story right now. This is not that step. You could just do one word answers in your workbook, or just discuss it amongst yourselves. How have you been affected by the sword of trauma? You know, in your life. How has the pain shown up? Like, how are you affected? You know, that could also mean, what fear do you need to face? Yeah. So, okay, like if I am wounded by this, that's a pretty huge fear to even talk about it, to even face the fact that I have to remove it because it's going to hurt so much. Right? So, yeah, it's going to hurt. I'm not going to lie. It hurts. But let's not go there yet. Let's just look at it. We're just acknowledging it right now. Yep, got it pierced with a sword. Yep, this is what put it there. And I got one up here too. I got one right here, and down here. Yep, got a couple. And I can tell you in quick one-word answers exactly what put that there. But then I'm not talking about it anymore. The point is, for this step right now, is now that we've talked about the sword of trauma and what it is and what it represents, how have you personally been affected by it? Okay? I'm just talking about how you've been affected. I'm not going to remove it yet. Just how have you been affected? For me, I mean, oh my God, first thing that comes to my mind if you ask me about the sword would be removed from my house and put into foster care. You know, I grew up for 5 years of my life with my biological dad, who was a total rageaholic and would beat you for no reason. You interrupted his favorite song and you got beaten with a belt. It made no logical sense. There was no like, I did something bad, so I get beaten. No, there was none of that. So that's a huge trauma. Oh yeah, I got one of those. You know, list all yours. You don't have to tell your detailed story right now. You know, just think about it. Like, wounded with the sword. How has this affected your life? You know, we'll go into much more detail, but right now, like, how have you been wounded by this sort of trauma? And seriously, not to make jokes, make light of it, but you could be wounded by reading fashion magazines. Seriously, like, we all have been through something has wounded us. We you know, witnessed something traumatic. Our loved one dear to us went through something traumatic, and it was traumatizing for us. Just look at it. Look at how you've been affected by the sword of trauma. Just pay attention to it. Write about it. Do your workbook pages. And just think about it. We're just acknowledging it at this stage. Okay?